I'll go to the Hermit Club. So, because, you know, the one thing I picked up about these towers, these are old towers, but AT&T and these little converter bitches have been, they're keeping our electrical super right. But yet when they go add this new digital stuff, right? Ameritech, it's American Tower, right? So because again, they're also very tied to these infrastructure projects that are going on down on Garfield, right? There's big contracts being done, right? And I'm like, this first of all, you are killers. I mean, just, oh God, just hate you fucking hermits. And then I'm just out there, right? And yeah, I get to snooping out here, you know, because this is the Masonic. These are the fucking niggers. Don't you call them niggers. But again, when they are over here able to murder our population, and the key is, right, is the golf when it comes to that Meritech, right? Because they rebranded. They've been doing this, especially since COVID. They've been horribly rebranding, right? So we don't, that was an older investment, these towers, that they still technically are using, right? So this is where that's at. I look at it, okay, so, because, okay, again, why I was talking about it is they have like such a transit in this corridor, and it's tied to also Kennedy. So because the infrastructure projects that are being done, see, because here's LTAG. So okay, because I'm just trying to put all my thoughts together here. So when I'm thinking about this, because it doesn't matter. So the reason why I talk about it, oh yeah, extreme construction. Oh yeah. So again, these are our electric companies that have gotten some major contracts, right? So major contracts. And so what happens to the American cemetery? Fucking floods. I mean, first of all, I don't even know, because you can't even, this is the Lincoln Memorial. I hope they're not thinking about Lincoln like I was thinking Abraham Lincoln. So I'm hoping that's not the case, right? Because we know truly is Masonic. So, like, you know, it's interesting how, you know, our foreigners here, you know what I'm saying, our foreigners here, they get to. So this is why I came over here, because before I was up there, right? So they are, you know, and they keep these things so damn old. So it's the same thing over in Garfield too, right? Because Garfield is the Fern Hill. So they're using that golf course, just like over there on Clinton River. That one that I'm saying is not like Polish. Well, let's talk about Georgetown, because instead of going over to the Sterling Heights, let's just stay back over in Clinton Township. This is part of Clinton Township. So in Clinton Township is like cashing the fuck in. So it's like, this is what they brought us before. But see, you know, this came, I don't know where the fuck this came back, and I did Google it, but I'm like, the whole point is they're connecting it to the underground. So with these new, so they have created these horrible leaking ass reservoirs, right? So these energy supplies have reservoir pools, polluted ponds, basically, that get to be among our communities, right? And that's the same thing going on there in Clinton River. I mean, over in Clinton Township on the Clinton River, that's on the you don't see the America's Hell until you get to Canal. So once you get to Garfield Canal, that's where you see them, right? And I've done videos on this because, again, they rebirthed that gas station, right? That gas station. See, that's only. What the fuck? None of our politicians even talk about how the fuck these Middle Eastern countries are robbing the fucking hell out of us. And this includes our military capability to have military, because again, that way is selfish. It's not getting no infrastructure. They just put in on this shit for the runway that would be definitely under fucking dirt. But I'm like, how the hell does they get to pipe these? Because I'm telling you, these communication towers, these, all of them, right? They communicate with the warfare in the oceans and in the skies, right? That's what they're doing. This is allowing China to be able, China and the European countries, NATO, right, to come out with their fucking, and including Richie Star countries, right? So it's like whoever, the Nazis up there, the Nazis in the underground, right? A lot of things that we have, they're actually Middle Easterns that's very involved with this underground. That's why I can't stand. This is why God can't stand it. So again, I get caught up in it because I'm a victim in it. So I'm like, these fucking bitches, they murder my ass. Like these fucking niggers get to rape our children. They get to rape our fucking damn Mother Earth. They get to rape our fucking Mother Mary. You're like, okay, your language, go fuck yourselves. How the fuck did you allow these pieces of shit? Because again, this has to do with that little golf. So you got that golf on Gratiot up here, and then you got the temple. There's those nasty ass fucking Quality Inn, those nasty hotels out here that's been attached to banquets, the underground. There is a lot of this underground that gets to happen because we live like nigger country now. So that's how it is. Our thinking is like a woman has no value. Right, at all. So not only does a woman not have no value, your child is for sale. So again, we could do pre-ranges, marriages here. That stuff is going on. Well, the Jews, which is behind us, that's in St. Clair, and that's where you got a lot of the build-up, like the Jews who are building up. So they're up in there, done stole our damn military history and heritage. This is for a long damn time. So they get the fuck away with it. My point is they're on their re-round. You look at this shit, right? It always, the areas look fucking horrible. Absolutely horrible. Right? Like, why the fuck do these bitches, and it says it's for sale. Of course it's for, nobody wants to, and then they get away with selling toxic fucking area. See, and even when you talk about gross spec, right? Because again, I keep saying, the man, that big ass metal company is the one, and it says MJ Electric. So okay, so let's get back over here to going back down to Freedom Hill, where we had a bunch of, soldiers fighting Iraq war and Afghanistan wars and many wars to prevent being owned by an automation system. See, that's how it is now. So now Henry Ford, automation. The bitches who had no problem Xing you. So they're never going to talk about that here. That's why when I watched this video, right, of how, because I am for me, but then when I listen to her, that's why I stopped saying dignity, because I'm like, there ain't no fucking dignity in this. It's just straight up fucking murdering. They get to murder our veterans. That's what I get stuck on. So, and these are these energy companies, these bitches who own these hotels. That's why I'm like, oh god, don't come here, think you're safe. Our fucking governor is a lying ass bitch. So again, they're data collecting, because that's the thing, they're actually data collecting. They're actually data collecting, what I'm saying, Muslims, Arabs, whatever they fucking have on that damn list that they want out of here. So again, what happened to all the immigrants that came here? See, this is the other one. It's behind the Hamilton. So, and that's the same thing over there with over there on Selfridge, where I say it's the Ark, right? So the Ark is, and I put hours and hours and hours of studying this. It doesn't matter. I'm a nobody. So I'm a ghost. So that's why I say I'm a shadow worker for Christ. So obviously God had to bring shadow, got all these fucking damn skinwalkers and giant shadow people. All right, so I can't. I was hoping I can get real close to that. It's coming out of Hampton. Yeah, because that's the same thing over there. And the same thing with the ark. The thing is that what people are not talking about, yeah, they say it's going to affect our water. Okay, we're beyond that. Because, again, they came here with their building after World War II, with their utopias, with horribly fracking the fucking hell out of our bedrocks. So that way they can create, to be honest, so they can create, free air conditioning, free, free stuff. We have car washes for freaking damn, using underground systems. But all you think about all those utopia buildings, hotels, for which our hotels, we're not making money. Same thing with being owned by LD. LD was able to, and that's again, it makes us committed to, this has to be like, it's fucked up because LD went and bought out Winn-Dixie during COVID. That transition was able to happen. It was insane because like LD wouldn't even be allowed into historical neighborhoods and stuff. Like people don't put them. But again, this has been this buyout process that's leaving us deaded with horrible businesses. Like again, they don't believe anything about a handicap for their their customers. So again, their staff get to get handicapped. They get to sit and do the checkout, but they get the least amount of employees, right? Because that's what the con is with LD. So, but it's more than that. It was buying out our food production, right? Just like Walmart, who is like one of these top tiers, is like doing nuclear with China. So what the fuck are we doing here? Pretty much getting ready to die. Yeah, just get ready to die, because again, we got a bunch of, professionals. It's supposed to be their job preventing us, being horribly attacked. I mean, this is not only causing the rising of the temperatures, right? This is, ultimately, and then what we get, you gotta love this. They've just been rebranding their businesses. Yep, got buses, the big ass buses are empty. But nope, we're gonna still put all that money into buses, right? And I mean, I came here, this is why it pisses me off. So, because it's the safety too. It's just the attitude of our, and this still falls under Clinton Township Police Department, right? So, and I'm like, oh God, it's so evil. Because there's no door, right? These fuckers think it's fucking funny. Women getting raped. So I'm like, it's not the fucking funny about it at all. So, and God is just like, see, it's now, where are they all connected to, right? They got such a bullshit going. They've had this for decades over here. I just can't believe they're rebirthing themselves. Like, I would have never lived in Michigan. You have to remember, I came here stupid, to save my brother's children. Completely fucked my own children in the process, right? So, yeah, it's like, it's closed. Of course it's closed, you nasty bitches. So gross. Yeah, and again, they don't care. They're poisoning you in our fucking gyms. They use products that say, do not. So when you go to these, still use it. It's not decommitted. Use these, but the whole thing is this company with AT&T, the American Tower Corporation. Yeah. So because those are the ones I was talking to. They for the Clinton Township one, they have been repurposing and doing their fracking fucking jobs. So all they're just science that they call giving us energy, but what they're really doing is horribly robbing. They're just draining us money, You got a bunch of bullshit projects going on. So just like I said, like, you know, it's just so fucked up because even with Clinton Township, right? That's right down there. This is Macomb College. Same one I keep fucking talking about, you fucking nasty bitches, because again, you know, while millions of us are getting X'd off, you know, just getting murdered, you know, say with no, because again, you know, I did have benefits. They stole all our benefits, rewrote our fucking damn names and shit. So again, you just don't, you have to be living as like, you know, I can't even be a handicap. So that's the reason why I talk about this, because while our college over here, the same ones who horribly defunded our armory in Warren, so now it's like mostly China Asian, right? But that's the same thing going on down there in Coretown and stuff, you know, very much attached to Ford, and you know, their buyouts of these database centers, right? So again, they knew they were going to be doing this. Is like NATO. It's like, you know, it's like NATO and China, you know, because it's fucked up. Because it's the same thing over there in Clinton Town. That was a Germany company. So I'm like, you have their asses are over here spending billions of damn dollars, right? And they're recycling all kinds of fucking shit, right? And they're just getting on the expense of the, you know, the government, the federal government. This is DTE. So, and I'm like, and they have purposely have been tailing with these projects, you know what I'm saying, throughout COVID. So I'm just like, it's so evil, because again, this is the reason why they X you. So, and they will fucking kill you. These fucking nigger ass bitches. I'm like, you know, it's so disgusting. What gives you the right to just destroy humans, right? To destroy Mother Earth. So you're over here saying, you know, protect, because they still there's Italy, you know, Romania, you know, you think about Romania, you know, and they're all their fits about saving their land, but they were able to come over here and, you know, horribly frack the shit out of our, you know, mitten. You know, this is what they get away with doing. All these geo-fracking projects that allow their business to rob Mother Earth, to create whatever fucking shit they're creating, because our government is just like, do whatever the fuck you want. We don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. We don't give a fuck. So they just get to be able to do this shit, and it's just all fucking crickets. And I'm like, it ain't crickets to God. It's actually evil as fuck. So I'm like, it's really evil as fuck. So, because the same thing over there, like I said, I'm like, they're not even putting in real stuff. So what they're doing is like, you know, even when that Cerebella, say like his Cerebella is so attached to, you know, St. Michael, and St. Michael is very attached to, again, this elder population that it runs our civic center, our township boards and stuff. Right, and they just, you know, they're just set on like, and actually technically, see, that's extreme. That's important here on. See what I'm saying? It's just been going on. He's everywhere, all tied to. But he's not the only electrical, because again, that was the electrical I saw in Clinton Township, though. That's the one I've been seeing over by my place too. So since the AT&T is over here. That's where AT&T is. But there's a huge section right here, right, that is old fracking, you know, old deals that came through, right? They're just, you know, and these old shit, these things expire, you know, but no, they don't expire. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. They don't expire at all. Either does their raping kind of ways, you know. It's just like, keep on raping. Like, God literally gave us Americans, us up here in Michigan, in the northern Canada. Don't put Canada, because Canada has been forever fucking killing Canada. So Canada is so beyond evil. So yeah, they're owned by India. So they're owned by, it's again, not clearly that's why when the things talk about they kill majority white. Yep, that's what I talk about. Because again, and these are your hermits. It's your like real evil type of people. So like the old thinking, right? They want to talk about these Proud Boys, but I'm like, okay, you might want to think about these hermits. So, because these hermits have been at it for a long time. So, but they're in our, you know, it's like, oh God, it's just more and more like, who needs it? Like, it's so evil. It's so evil. Because like I said, this involves, again, you know, so during COVID, this is beyond COVID. I mean, this county has always been very guilty of victimizing. So instead of doing a due process for, you know, instead of having doors for children, no. So here we have basically a horrible mafia hermit system. So, and there's just an open door policy for girls, teenagers here. This is males and females, but generally teenagers. So, and again, that's why you don't want to stick your child, right, ever into Abraham Street. Yeah, you never want to stick your child into K-12. So, because you'll find out they'll be horribly, see, this is a separate one. And here's another one right here. So, point is, okay, again, same thing with these new configurations, right? They communicate with the database center. See, what people don't seem to realize is the database, here's Kentucky and Abraham. Kentucky and Abraham. They communicate as warfare. So that's what this is building into. So, and I remember, and the reason why I say this is because, again, I've always been with POWs. So I don't lie that I got fucking murdered. So I got lied, but you know, my life never changed because you know the sad thing about this over here, this one goes to my hits. So, and you know, 15 our township, our state of Michigan, they rather spend money on buses down here, right here. So, right, this is the property, because I've talked about this. Like, that guy can't even have, it says coming soon, kitchen and market. Like, what the fuck? So, again, you guys, right over there too, right? So, but let's go down to where we're at, and that's that fucking bus route down here. So, you know, my hicks was, and this is because you don't have doors. Like, that, you know, this is what's more than fine, sitting on the fact that they work for businesses. They work for these businesses, right? And again, you get on the ground. Get on the ground. They like to fucking hunt your ass. Again, that's what you guys made fun of it. And I'm like, instead of if victims are not going to come in a polite voice, right? Who the fuck did you get your training from? Oh, we forgot. Macomb College. That's really good. It's not funny. So again, we get all these empty buses on the road. Empty buses, right? But for my hicks, you know, unfortunately, she's down the other way. You're not supposed to go around, nigger. Fucking retard. So, you don't even give a shit. So, anyways, Henry Ford, is this it? Oh, it says here for. Here for. So, here is the Housing Commission. But what I want to talk about is, see, that's where it goes over there to WADL. That's where that's connected to. WADL, right? Because we know why. The big contractor here along 15 Mile is right here. So, our big sub-terminal station is right here. So, our smart bus, right? And so, when I was talking to, I mean, this is massive, right? And I was talking to, you know, God sends messengers together, right? And they're telling me that a lot of the people who are retirees got their jobs over here. You know, the uneducated ones. But I'm like, you know, is this the same thing? I say I earned my education, but it means nothing because again, up north peace, that's what involved my attack. So, and up north police, it does include your actually politicians. These are like Northeast. They're part of the, pure Michigan. They're part of, what makes them money. So again, we have all kinds of elders, handicap, all kinds of shit, all kinds of innocent that should be not paving the price. Pave it. Oh no, they do. So because we gotta remember, this is Toyota, right? Hyundai. It's a Ford. Right, we have to understand they gave buyouts, right? So, and those buyouts come with them continue robbing us, right? Gotta love it. All these buses, and again, what's a bus if you don't have people on them? Let's start off with that. But also, like, it's insane. Like, why would you spend, instead of actually, well, you know why? Because again, this is the whole point. It's like, they don't have to pay the retirements. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of, people who were college educated, right? You have to understand, people in that generation, like Fred's son, they spent over $450,000 for his son. Now, lucky with his son, he got the hookup because his daddy. So, he got to be able to have a position in GM, even though he wasn't like a Star Trek one. He's just a popular one. So, plus again, it's because who Fred was among his, crew down there with Ford. So, in Detroit University. So, again, but let's get back over here to Smart Terminal. So, because again, when Samantha Wool, my Hicks was murdered down here, and, the cops didn't have no bother to, they just, arrested that person, and that was just the end of the story, right? So they didn't have no bother with any more conversation in the house, right? And I've gone out there a few times to Clinton Township Police because the fact that my boss shouldn't be a landlord, right? So my Hicks happened because of this horrible system. So it attacks our young youth. So, but particularly our black women, and our Native women, right? Because again, while our, our elders are being killed off, and our military are being killed off, we of course got all this green energy going on here, right? That's what those buses came in for. So again, not gonna, talk to yourself about it, because again, they all for their projects here. Right? I'm for people going to heaven, right? People have the right to death with honor. That is the death with their story, right? Her story isn't that she was dating a gangbanger, unfortunately, she entered the house of hell. Yeah, house of hell. Look at his brother's still at it. His brother's out there trying, and again, there's there's still other cases going on in there. That's why I talk about the police, them not doing. And look how bad the roads are. So all these niggers are rebirthing, right? And they're at it over here too. They're allowed to get away with this shit. So they got their own. Literally down this way is again where the big huge projects coming in. I guess I'll go down there instead of Mount Clements. The big project of 15 Mile, so that's the pipeline. So Fraser has been adding new gas stations. So because that's part of the buyout with, these Canada, with all this mount being ridden off to Canada. See, another bus, 2 people on it. Yep, so I'm like, that's just how it goes. That's why God just sees how selfish this is. Because again, John James is down there talking about Red Run, like this smell of Red Run. And they have horribly, Macomb County has robbed the fuck. See, the thing is, the victim funding, domestic violence, is being eaten up by, right? So, because again, damn, if you're a prayer warrior up in here, trying to allow people, because that's what I treat each other, that, it's supposed to be a crime for hate. But again, when we have, you know what I'm saying, unethical, you know, criminal system, again, there's no witnesses, right? Besides, you know what I'm saying, my mother, who they put on my damn insurance, right? They literally put my mother first. You know, this is on my State Farm. So they're like allowed to like horror. You know why is that? Because again, they have me written here. Like I am written as I'm mentally incompetent. Right? That I am bipolar. Like this is what kind of evilness this system that's bet onto these fucking fracker nigger bitches, right? How evil this system is willing to go. Right, here comes Lucky Laundry, right? So, and these niggers get to be able to create their little green businesses, you know. So, and I'm just like, yep, you know, what happens to, you know, the rest of us? Okay, we're eating up, you know what I'm saying? Like Faith Baptist College here, and then you got Home of the Dragons Auditorium. This is what I talk about, co-shares. I started my college here. They sold that. What the hell? Just because you come in here, the faith doesn't mean you get to rob the fuck out of our school. They do. They rob the fuck out of our school programs. For what? Oh, like, you know, pools and community centers, right? So here they are going down 15 Mile. You know what I'm saying? What are we putting in? Oh, new generators, you know, new wires, right? Like we haven't already raped the fuck out of Mother Earth, right? Yep, no, we just keep on doing it, right? So the trick doesn't get old when you're allowed to do it repeatedly, right? Thousands of dollars for them to go ahead and, you know, rewire, again, for a database center. Because again, this all goes to Romeo. So the new money is Romeo. So that's the database center. That, again, you don't hear a shit out of anybody's mouth, right? They don't talk about how, like, it's already in stone. Like, they're already going to do it, okay? The fact that, you know, Dana Nessa was, like, 2 years too behind, you know, to file the lawsuit against Enbridge, right? Again, like, they didn't have that all planned. Of course they had it all planned. This goes back to Rick Snyder. That's why she was chosen in 2018. Because they knew that she they would continue. And again, they plotted fucking COVID. Okay? So again, they got to be able to, this is fucking Canada! You murdering ass bitches! How fuck you dare you get so damn murdered? You know what I'm saying? Because it's how it goes. Okay, so he says Abe Awash for Michigan Senate. He's willing, right? He's like, I'm willing to, rooted and ready to lead. Obama organizer. And he said, DT, nobody, he says go after, but nothing about actually like stopping these contracts and pipelines. So like no one talks about it. So how DTE, and again at the same time, they're bringing in hundreds of thousands of people to these communities, debting us in loans. This time, you know, 9/11, these people got to come over here and buy houses outright because the prices were so low. Right now is a different ball game. Right, so again, as our, you know, breeder companies, you know, there's just always at it. There's your DT, gotta love them. They're just always just on the clock, you know, so wiping us the fuck out, you know, so because that has to do with IDC, that's the polls. But see, that's right here. See, certain businesses, guys. See right here. This is another good example. Okay, so because again, this ties us a lot to, you know, Italy, you know, I'm just saying European countries that get to like technically, I thought, I don't know, I just thought like, because they keep outdated systems, right? And then they just been putting these massive new systems. But that food supply, same thing with Frederick. You know, they are very tied to, again, like Myers, white-handed Hitler sign, you know. I say, what the fuck? They're not even clean. So it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with these buyout programs, right, that they buy into, that gives them all these inclusive beneficiary packages. So, and again, this includes, you know, Myers over there also on Grossbeck, right? So, because we have a lot of expired ones out here, but then they get to rebrand. So, and they're rebranding along Grossbeck there. That's why it's like, gross me the fuck out that that deportation prison, right, is
literally right on Grossbeck, but it's funded by some of these makers on Grossbeck. Well, it's funded on that metal company. I can't remember his name, but across from Elizabeth Jail. Right, it's this huge ass metal company that has horribly destroyed Mount Clemens. Right, why in the fuck would companies like this? Same thing on Grossbeck over where the original golfing was on Grossbeck. They got this electric company that's across the street from a property that is part of the golf that it was up for sale. And I was technically out there studying it because, again, Georgetown Park was horribly fucking fracked. So you're talking about, again, that's living off the colonizers of the Moravians. That's the whites that came here before the fucking natives, right? It's got to steal whites, pretend, because I'm for real about Jesus. So I'm not about, you know, tricking someone, right? And I don't trick the natives into Jesus, right? I tell the natives that, you know, that they belong to grandmother. It's not me. So you go through the portal hole, it's just saying that you end up in Father Sky, Grandmother Moon. See, this is that 15 in Garfield is right where they have the Astro Center, right? And that goes, and that's connected to the Macomb Daily. So that's an old project, but then again, it's that's eagle sign on there, right? So in the R, and that R goes down there to actually Romeo. So because of the same builders that I'm talking about. So that Lorenzo builder on 23 across the street, and even in Shelby, they're attached to golf. They're always attached to the fucking golf. You know, I'm like, fuck you, golfers. I'll be damned. Again, you guys get to rape children. Again, there's no investigating because that's how it goes, right? It's just pretty much do as you please. You don't have doors, right? Look how busy it is over here, Myers. There is no doors. Again, this is the niece that I adopted. I'm just supposed to, like, they made me, I had no intentions of adopting my brother's kids because they were fucked up. So, and they would rob the shit out of me and my wife when I bring them down there. But what I was trying to do is prevent them being in foster care. Because Macomb County, this is how they do it. They just pretty much, like, you know, they don't do a due process. So they literally, you get Turning Point Incorporated, and Turning Point Incorporated is this bullshit. So just like they're able to, my mom shouldn't be on my insurance, right? But this is how they do it. They're able to literally change in your medical records. They're able to, like, how fucking evil. You know what I'm saying? Because they're too coward to murder me. Instead, it's better to just, and they have me listed too online. So where you can track me down to my mother's address. That's why I keep it. I keep it at my mother's address. But my insurance company told me, April, told me that because she knew I wasn't living there anymore, she's like, I can't use the benefit of my mom. Like, I was using the family plan because it saved me, I'm paying $200 some now. So my boss is, and like for insurance, it's ridiculous. I don't have no car accidents or anything. But again, she told me this, but this is how it goes. Just, fuck you, Henry Ford. You bitches are murdering. You fucking murder patients. Don't ever go to these hospitals. I'm telling you, you have your soul. So don't allow them. They'll kill your fucking elder patient. They'll kill your elder parents, right? I wouldn't put your elders here. I used to say we're the new Florida, but I don't know the fuck you. We're killing. So that's what we get away with doing. Get away with straight up killing. So, and they are comfortable enough to lie on paperwork. They're comfortable like on your medical. Your death with dignity, right? On your autopsy. So again, you know, not all autopsies are done. So in most cases, autopsies are not done. So just because of expense and stuff like that. So, but no, we have time to worry about Red Run smell. Red Run. So, because we're coming up on Red Run, and we just passed all these places that were acidic in, you know, still kind of under that domination of Catholic. And again, Catholic is very involved with this robbery. So, and you're talking about the old school bitches who don't think they need a fucking wife, right? They're just, and their language is they take every fucking criminal, rapist, it don't matter. They give everybody forgiveness. Meanwhile, these fucking bitches can't even have a door for their children that get fucking raped by their brothers, their uncles, their daddies. No! You can bring your kids right up in those churches and get them baptized. That way you make sure you get that child marked, right? Because you got a lot of daddies who think they own their children. I'm your daddy. You know what I'm saying? No, the fuck you're not. Okay, so you don't own anybody. So as a parent, you don't own your child, right? We have to remember that, you know, God owns our children. And God has the right to protect our children from these fucking Nazis. But they don't have a door. So again, we have this horrible system coming from fucking Canada and European fucking countries. We just had the Middle Easterns in the underground. So it's, you know, it's the whites. You know, they're not even whites, right? Because they're killing whites. You know, I'm just very confused. So I always believed in death with dignity, but then I didn't realize what death with dignity became. That's why I switched it to death with honor, because, you know, people have the right to die in their faith, in their stories with God, right? And even though they might have been praying to eternal life, they were thinking eternal life with Jesus, right? That's Jesus. No, these bitches got a whole different set of plans for you. So right over here. So these plans are like, oh yes. Well, that's how it goes, you know, lives are lost, and our politicians are not talking about it, but they just go into fucking town on all these fracking jobs, right? And this comes in with, you know, clearly a gas station, because you see these pump things right over here. See these little pumps, so it's got to be at least a gas station. You don't see the gas, but you see a lot of pumps in here. So this is part of Fraser. So Fraser already has enough gas stations, but you know, this is the plan with 23. So I mashed them up, right? So because again, the police have time to take this is where they do their dog training, but you know, police have, you know, stalk and chase, just so you know, that's what gets to go on here. Stalk and chase. They love the hunting game. So we do have a lot of hunting that's going to continue happening. And people want to say eliminate ice cruelty in Michigan. Michigan, you have murdered literally millions. I don't know what you're talking about. We need ice up here. So, because you act like a different kind of ice. You're like trolls from the underground world. It's called the Nether world because nobody wants them. God nor fucking Lucifer. So they end up being part of the Antichrist world. So that's part of the Nether world. And you know, and again, they're fueling in our underground. So they're quite the espionage. Like, I'm just like, I don't know what. You're just talking to ghosts. You can't help it. And I myself, it's like what that lady was saying. She's like, it's the same thing with me. You want to die in your honor and your story. So you want your soul to know that, because every day I battle this heart disease that was given to me by the state of Michigan. So I might have had full body problems with my pain receptors and like degenerative osteoporosis and stuff. But my CRPS might not have reached my organs. But unfortunately, that's just what the state of Michigan does, because again, we got to remember, Canada over here makes the big killing off it all, right? So nobody wants to pay for all these elders. I just talk about, because again, even with my own boss, that process of studying him, I started, he may see me as because he's a predator and he shouldn't be a real landlord, but God brought me in his life as a chainbreaker. So, because he was horribly being data collected by this Nazi system. That's what I want to email this lady about how automation that I have picked up, because I'm like, I'm not an investigative reporter. I am a shadow worker for Christ. Personally, I don't want to talk about this shit. So these projects that they're doing, because again, I'm going to end up fucking dead. These niggers pop out. So, and then I just like usually, go like this, and I don't know, they look at me and then they look me up and see I'm nuts anyway. So I think that saves me a little bit too. But but then they come to my house and they see all the crosses. But today my boss got his tire stabbed. So I was just like, okay, that was out in that area too. So, but you have to remember, so, because my boss already has this, he had before I came, I was going to be a tenant. So that was in the 15 mile. But then, my boss, fooled me. I'm like, I don't know. I'm supposed to be a lesbian. Don't get to be a lesbian. This is how fucking horrible this shit is. So we already know he's full of shit. Right here. Ah, God. Okay. Okay. So stop this underground shit. Nope. They literally claimed 7 Mile. Have you seen 7 Mile? It's horrible. So again, I know Chaldeans, same ones rebirthed down there at Lakeside, right? So again, this is the same monopolizers who benefited from 9/11. So I'm just like, what the fuck? We won't even have a military base. So these bitches, our system here don't care. They really don't care. They sit on there, they get their little, they really just don't care. Apparently there's just too many people involved with retirement. This is their retirement. This is their, not this particular, but these infrastructure to these pipelines. So, and a lot of this stuff is, oh, look who's calling me. Let's see who's calling me. My niece is calling me. They need your love. Let's see what she wants.